Welcome to Motors and Medicine. On today's episode, I'm going to be discussing facet disease, but more importantly, facet pain. And what is a facet? Well, it pertains to the spinal column. So a quick anatomical review. In the spinal column, in our neck, to start, we've got 7 vertebral bodies, 7 levels. And then in the thoracic or the mid portion of your spine, you've got 12 vertebral bodies. And then the lumbar and your lower back, you've got another 5. Okay? Now, the spinal column is a very dynamic, unique, interesting structure. Okay? Obviously, it allows for a lot of function from muscle attachment and range of motion to stability and dynamics with all type of movements. Okay? Now, what I'm going to focus on today is called facet disease, or more importantly, facet pain. Well, again, what is a facet? Well, each level of vertebral body in your spinal column is stacked one on top of the next as a vertebral body. Now, extending from those vertebral bodies, you have these small appendages. You've got a process going to the back, processes going to the side. And what these processes serve as muscle attachments on the outside, but more importantly, the processes also have a flat surface where one process sits on top of the next and they kind of articulate over each other like so. So the majority of spinal movement or range of motion, the majority comes from the facets, allowing lateral bending and twisting, and a lot of part of the flexion extension. Your vertebral bodies also allow for quite a bit of range of motion. But the facets allow for that dynamic range of motion. In fact, when we suffer from facet pain or facet disease, those particular flat joints that are almost circular in nature on either side of the vertebral body along the entire spinal column, every one of those facet joints that articulates and rotates atop one another can become bound up and cause stiffness in the back. And so the best way to articulate this, or to get you to understand this, is whenever you feel like you need to crack your back, or if many of you go to a chiropractor, their main specialty is facet mobilization. So when a chiropractor does certain movements and manipulations on your spine, what they are accomplishing is a release of pressure on those facet joints on either side of the spine. And that's why they twist you one direction to get one set of facets and then the other direction to get the other set of facets. Now, most of the time when you release the pressure on those facets, you feel relief, you feel good. Because when you have a lot of muscle tension and strain, those facets tend to get bound and they get kind of stuck in position. And that makes you feel even more stiff. And that leads to more muscular tension and pain. So the easy way to get over that, of course, number 1 is to stay as flexible as possible. Number 2, to be active. But it is also necessary to keep those facet joints mobilized. Now, a lot of people go to chiropractors for this very thing. However, not everybody can afford a chiropractor as often as they would like you to see them. And believe me, chiropractors have a great position in medicine. They definitely contribute to the medical team, but they get expensive. So what I'm going to go over today is a simple method that will help you and guide you to do your own chiropractic mobilizations by putting a simple apparatus together. Now, this technique was taught to me by a physical therapist that's a really good friend of mine. But it's been proven that this particular apparatus works exceptionally well at manipulating all the facets on either side of your spinal column. So I'm just going to show you how to put it together and the supplies that you need. All right. First, you want to get yourself a roll of flexible tape. You can pick this up. It kind of sticks to itself. We call it Coban in the clinic, but you can pick this up from Walgreens, CVS. A lot of places carry this. Second, you want to get yourself a couple of used tennis balls or new tennis balls if you wish, but a couple of tennis balls is really all you need. Because when you bring those tennis balls together, what we're going to do is join them using this tape. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. And it's really simple. You start by simply wrapping around the tennis balls just like so. And you're going to do a few layers of this because you want the balls not to move. Once you get maybe halfway through the roll, then you start to turn and kind of pull it over the center like so and cover the rest of the tennis balls, and they will become this conjoined, almost looks like a figure eight or like a three-dimensional 8, if you will. Okay? And so you basically just want to wrap this until you're done with the roll, and that will ensure that you've got good adhesion and good firm placement of the tennis balls together. Okay? Now you have this. And what this is, if you turn it this way, it kind of looks like a figure eight, but this is the apparatus. This is all you need to act as your own personal chiropractor. The way to utilize this is very simple. You just take this, you place it behind your neck, lay down on a carpet, and then you simply roll over it, working your way back so that these two tennis balls are focused right on the center of, well, actually to the side of the center of your spine. The center of your spine will sit right in between the tennis balls. The main crown of either tennis ball is going to be riding right on the facets. And so when you do this, when you start at your neck and then you lay down on a carpet and you start to roll over it, all you need to do is focus on taking some slow, controlled breaths. And as you roll back and then move back to your neck and roll back again, do it several times. The end result will be that you'll feel your facets being mobilized. You'll literally feel that popping or cracking sensation that you get when you go to a chiropractor. And it will allow for those facets to be relieved of their pressure, and that in turn will allow for tension to be released from the muscles that are attached to either side of the spine, as well as all the back straps that overlay on top of those muscles. So the back is a very dynamic muscle group, and you don't really want to leave it stiff because then you lose a lot of function, range of motion, and stability in your core. So keeping your facets mobilized on a daily basis is crucial to minimizing pain in your neck, pain in your mid-thoracic, and in your lower back. I personally use one of these that I put together every single night. I roll starting at my neck, working my way down the spine all the way to my lower back. And I roll several times. And throughout those maneuvers or motions, as I'm kind of breathing and controlling my breathing, I feel my facets just pop, 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 going back into place. And I feel instant relief. Otherwise, my back is very stiff. And at 46, I'm starting to really feel my age, and so it gets a little bit difficult to get up in the morning if I've got a stiff back. But I do this every night, and it really helps mitigate a lot of that back tension and stiffness. So my advice is to get yourself a roll of this tape, a couple of tennis balls, wrap it together so that it looks just like this, and then simply lay on a carpeted floor, put it under your neck, and start rolling over it. And you'll be surprised how much it releases that tension on all the facets along your spinal column. So hopefully this information will help you guys out, help you to feel less tension and pressure in your neck, in your mid-thoracic, in your lower back, and it will help you to stay a little bit more limber, a little bit more flexible, and hopefully even sleep better. So, like always, please like and subscribe, and as always, I will try to do content as often as I can between doing motor stuff, working on cars, and of course the medical side of things. So again, I appreciate all your support. This is Motors and Medicine, signing off. Thanks.